It's 7:15 on a Saturday morning. A guy walks into his garage, looks at two cars, and reaches for the keys to the older one. Not the newer car, the old one. The one that takes a little longer to start. The one with a few scratches that never quite got fixed. The one that doesn't have the biggest screen, the newest safety systems, or 20 settings for how the car is supposed to feel. And he knows all of that. He could afford something newer. That's the strange part. He isn't driving this car because he has no other choice. He has other choices. He just doesn't want them as much. Ask him why he keeps the classic, and he'll probably tell you about the sound of the engine, the way the steering feels, the smell of the interior. Maybe he'll tell you it reminds him of being younger. And he's probably right. But that's not the whole story. Because people who genuinely love classic cars tend to share certain traits that go much deeper than nostalgia. Traits that show up not just in the cars they choose, but in the way they think, the way they make decisions, and the way they deal with a world that keeps telling them everything needs to be newer, faster, and replaced. And the fifth trait is the one that explains why some people can sit behind the wheel of a car built 40 years ago and feel more like themselves than they do in almost anything modern. Because for them, the classic was never really just about the car. The first trait is intentional resistance. It's not that these people hate change. They just hate change for the sake of it. And that's where classic car lovers are often misunderstood. People assume someone choosing a 40-year-old car is stuck in the past or just being sentimental. But there's another possibility. They've learned not to confuse new with better. We're conditioned to think every new version is automatically an upgrade. More screens, more cameras, more software, until we stop asking whether any of it actually improves our lives. The classic car person asks that question anyway. Does this new thing actually improve the experience? If it does, great. If it doesn't, why replace something that already works? You'll see the same thinking outside the garage, in the person who keeps a phone until they actually need a new one, who repairs instead of replacing. They're not afraid of change. They just want a reason for it. In a world constantly telling you that you need the next upgrade, a classic car lets you make a simple decision. I already have what I want. The second trait is a strong need for tangible connection. Get into a modern car, and you press a button, touch a screen, turn a wheel, while a computer quietly decides how much of your input should reach the road. Convenient. But for some people, convenience isn't the same thing as connection. A classic car gives you far more to feel. You hear the engine before you even move, feel the steering through the wheel, the vibration through the seat. Even the imperfections become part of the conversation. That's why a lot of classic car lovers aren't satisfied with just owning an old vehicle. They learn it, the sound it makes cold versus warmed up, the switch with a little play in it, the sense that something's off before they can explain what changed. That same person may love a mechanical watch over a smartwatch, a physical book over an app. There's something satisfying about an object that gives something back. You touch it, you hear it, you understand it, and eventually you feel like you know it. They're not just attached to what the car does for them. They're attached to how it makes them feel while it's happening. The third trait is a need to feel involved. This one's easy to miss, because on the surface it can look like they're making life harder for themselves. A modern car does almost everything for you. Starts with a button, adjusts itself, decides when to shift. For most people, that's the whole point. But some classic car lovers don't want driving to disappear into the background. They want to participate, feeling the weight of the steering, listening for a change in the engine, learning how the brakes respond and the clutch engages. Modern life has removed most of the friction from everyday experience. You tap a screen, wait, move on. A classic car doesn't let you do that. It asks for a little attention, and strangely, that can feel good. The same person may rather cook a meal than order one, or fix something than replace it. They don't want life to be difficult. They just don't want everything to happen without them. But there's a darker side worth being honest about. Sometimes people don't hold on to old things because they love being present. Sometimes it's because they're afraid of letting go. The attachment can be about what the car represents. The one from a father's driveway, the one dreamed about at 20, finally bought once life allowed it. Nostalgia isn't a bad thing on its own, but there's a difference between remembering the past and needing to live inside it. A classic car can be a bridge to an important part of your life, or a hiding place from the parts that have changed. The difference comes down to one question. Are you keeping it because it still adds something to your life, or because you're afraid of what it means to let it go? The healthiest classic car lovers enjoy the past, but they still move forward. The fourth trait is a need to feel capable. Think about how much of modern life works now. Something breaks, you replace it. Something stops working, you call someone. A classic car is different. When something isn't right, you pay attention, you listen, look, learn. Maybe you figure out a strange engine noise, or spend a whole Saturday chasing a problem a newer car would never have given you in the first place. Sometimes it's frustrating, but then it starts, and you get a feeling modern life rarely gives you. I did that. That's self-efficacy in its simplest form. The feeling that your actions can actually produce a result. Classic car people aren't just consuming the experience. They're learning it, maintaining it, solving problems inside it. You'll often see the same instinct elsewhere in their lives, repairing things, building with their hands, working through a problem instead of handing it off. Not because they have to, but because they can. The car stops being something they simply own. It becomes something they've learned to understand. The fifth trait ties everything together, a strong need for autonomy. Not just freedom, the feeling that your choices actually belong to you. Modern life quietly tells you what you should want. The newer phone, the newer house, the newer car, the next upgrade the moment it arrives. Without noticing, you can start making choices because they're expected of you rather than because you actually want them. Classic car lovers seem unusually resistant to that. They can look at a car 30 or 40 years old, with fewer features and more imperfections, and simply say, I like this one, without needing another reason. That's what makes the first four traits suddenly click. They resist unnecessary change because they don't believe every change is progress. They want tangible connection because they don't want the experience filtered through technology. They want involvement because they don't want life to happen without them. They want to feel capable because they want to understand and influence the things they care about. All four point toward the same deeper need: agency. The feeling that in a world constantly telling you what to buy and what should matter, you can still decide for yourself. Maybe that's why the classic car feels so different. It's not just old. It's a choice that doesn't need permission. So go back to that Saturday morning. The garage is quiet. Two cars are sitting there, one newer, easier, more comfortable, and the other the classic. Now you understand why his hand reaches for those keys. Maybe it's the sound, the memories, the way the steering feels in his hands. Or maybe it's simply the satisfaction of knowing he chose it because he wanted it, not because somebody told him he should. Because that's what makes classic cars so interesting. They aren't just reminders of another time. For the right person, they're reminders that you can still choose your own version of what matters. And maybe this was never really a story about old cars at all. It's about the things we keep in a world that constantly tells us to replace them. The things that still work. The things that still mean something. The things that still feel like us. So here's the question I'd leave you with. What's something in your life you could easily replace, but you don't? Because replacing it would mean giving up something you still aren't ready to lose? If you own a classic, tell me the car in the comments. And tell me the real reason you still love it. Not the obvious reason. The real one. And if you enjoy videos that look past the machine and into the person behind it, subscribe to Psyche Drive. Because sometimes the car you choose isn't just telling the world what you drive. It's telling you something about who you are.